It's a chance to say thank you to Wisconsin's 40,000 World War II veterans. Good evening, I'm Andy Chul.
And I'm Maria Guerrero. Those veterans are dying at a rate of around 4,000 every year, which is why the national movement called Honor Flight is gaining momentum across the country. News 3's Angela Bettis went along on Madison's inaugural flight and joins us with that very special story.
Well, Maria and Andy, it was a year in the making, but Madison's very own Badger Honor Flight took to the skies yesterday morning with 97 local World War II veterans. We were lucky enough to be asked to come along on this emotional journey.
Good morning, sir. Welcome to the Badger Honor Flight.
Thank you. In the pre-dawn hours of Saturday, 97 World War II veterans from across the News 3 viewing area arrived at the Dane County Regional Airport.
I flew 76 missions.
Our hearts well with praise and thanksgiving as we remember these sacrifices this morning.
A water cannon greeting was just the start of their warm welcome to Washington, D.C.
We're so proud to host you here today. We can't thank you enough for serving for us.
Thank you for your service. I can't believe this. This is tremendous.
I need a hug.
Very emotional.
A police and motorcycle escort led our vets on the first leg of their visit.
I am Staff Sergeant Wolf of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army. Guard of Honor, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard.
Arlington National Cemetery was just one of the stops for Badger Honor Flight, where they stopped to watch the changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. A record 14 honor flights from all over the country were in Washington, D.C. on Saturday. The Iwo Jima Memorial was up next.
I seen the flag on Iwo Jima, real. Oh. About 2 months after it was taken.
Oh, it's unbelievable. That is great.
Bill Wegner from Watertown fought in Iwo Jima as a young Marine.
We got this guy off the lines, but as soon as we got up there, then that sniper was sitting in a tree, and he got me in the neck, and so he saved my life.
That's because the very next day, most of his division was killed. Wegner's 2 sons were with him as he reflected on Saturday.
People need to remember what they did for our country.
The very reason this World War II memorial sits in Washington, D.C. today.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to your memorial.
Thank you.
There were stories, pictures, tears,
I just wanted to say thank you for your service.
and many thanks. But one of the most special parts of the trip
John Albrecht.
was mail call.
Did I ever tell you?
Don Hopkins.
Can't do it. Grandpa, did I ever tell you how proud I am of you?
Glad you made it back. One piece.
And these soldiers were welcomed home with the proper hero's welcome.
It's unbelievable. Words can't describe what the emotions that we have.
You couldn't help but had tears coming home last night. That was amazing. The homecoming was overwhelming for me, but especially for most of those veterans, to see 1,200 people packed into the airport cheering just for them. And remember that most of those veterans did not receive that type of welcome after the war. They simply just returned to their families and return to their work. So this was long overdue for them.
Very emotional. Very hard to even just look at that piece that you put together for us and not get a little choked up.
Right.
Is there another plan for another flight, perhaps?
They are trying to get an honor flight up going in the fall, but the fundraising again starts first thing on Monday morning. They'd like to raise around $100,000. The honor flight is free for all of the World War II veterans, but it does cost, and the people who go as guardians do pay to go on that flight. But again, they're trying to raise about $100,000, and there is some urgency to try and get these honor flights going. Just in the 1 year it took to get this honor flight up and going, 4 veterans who are on the list for their honor flight already had passed away. They laid a wreath in their name at the World War II Memorial.
And Angela, you're going to have more stories tomorrow for us, right?
Tomorrow at 6 and 10. In fact, one of those stories is a great story about nearly a dozen women who are on that honor flight. And we have their story. Women aren't represented quite as much. You just don't see them as often on the honor flight. So to see them and to hear their stories is going to be it's a very fun story to tell and a very powerful story as well.
Marines, right?
Most of them were Marines. Some were in the Army nurses. Some of them were mechanics. They have great stories.
That's wonderful.
Such a simple phrase, but so important to say thank you.
Thank you to them.
Angela Bettis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn more, head to badgerhonorflight.org. Just a heads up for tonight, though, we've noticed the site is experiencing some server issues, so you may want to check back tomorrow. Again, the site is badgerhonorflight.org. You can find out how to register for a future honor flight and also how to donate so these special flights can continue.